Alright, so in this video I'm going to discuss two things. One is how do you pronounce or how do you speak like a local Spanish person? How do you improve on your Spanish pronunciation? And the second thing I'm going to discuss is there's at least half a dozen Latin citizenships that you can acquire just by being fluent in Spanish. The biggest challenge is the pronunciation, right? How do you speak fluently? How do you talk freely like a local Spanish person?
Ciudadanía de países latinos, especialmente personas ricas de países como México, República Dominicana, Colombia, entre otros, siempre he considerado Canadá y Estados Unidos como sus destinos soñados. Pero ahora con el aumento de la delincuencia y crisis económica en Estados Unidos y Canadá, es importante tomar decisiones sabias para tener un futuro financiero exitoso.
Now, a lot of people listen. They get it, they get the pronunciations, but they aren't able to output it. The biggest problem is that people aren't practicing and pronouncing enough. That's the first problem. The second is you got to associate an idea with that pronunciation, which makes it easy to remember the pronunciation. So these two things are very important. When you are learning something, when you're listening to a language, it's only 30% effective. But what's more important, the remaining 70%, which is very, very important, is to be able to pronounce it exactly the way the local person is saying. And the best way to pronounce it is to repeat multiple times. Let's say you have had a finite set of words or phrases that you have finalized that you're going to learn in a month. Then you got to keep repeating this exercise daily for a month to remember the pronunciation. And as I said, what's particularly going to be important is the idea associated with that pronunciation, to remember the pronunciation that you associate with your English or whatever your first language is. And that's how you pick up, you remember it first. And because you have repeated and practiced the pronunciation, it becomes a lot more easier. I'm going to discuss an example. Let's take an example of the days of the week, right? So Monday for me is moon, and moon is lunar, right? So it's lunes. So that's how I remember Monday. The moment I think of Monday, the first thing strikes me is lunar for whatever reason. Okay, don't ask me why I associate Monday with moon and moon with lunar, but the moment now when I talk about a Monday, it's lunes. I already know it, right? And the way to pronounce this is to repeat lunes. Break it down into pieces of 2 or 3. Master the pronunciation and then keep repeating it again and again till you feel like a local, till you feel exactly like that other person. Similarly, let's take an example of Friday, right? On Friday, a lot of people drink, right? They drink beer. So for me, Friday is beerness, okay? Beerness. 2, break it into 2, beer and ness. I don't have to remember ness. I just remember Friday, although I don't drink beers on Fridays. I just like to remember Friday stands for beer and Friday means beerness. Saturday is sábado. It's fairly easy. The easy ones, keep it simple. Don't have to complicate that one. Saturday, sábado, and Sunday is domingo. And that's again an easy one. Don't need to associate that with anything, but something that's complicated can be associated with an idea. And when you have your English word, you have the idea, you immediately remember the other word, right? So that's the big trick, associating it with an idea and then repeating the pronunciation. And the key over here is break it down into 2 or 3. And this is exactly what I do in the shorts section to help you learn the language from basic to, then progress further. And then I have playlists. And my idea is to include other videos which are, which would complement the ones which I create. The ones which I create are important for how do you break it down and pronounce them. The other videos are also useful, so I'm going to include that in the playlist. So at the end of this video, I'm going to link that playlist. You can start learning Spanish. The best time to start learning Spanish is right now. So it doesn't matter when your citizenship interview is due. Maybe it's due after a couple of years. Maybe it's due in 1 year. Maybe it's not due until 3 years. Best time to start learning Spanish is right now, because once you master the art of Spanish, once you're fluent in Spanish, you're going to pick up a lot more people. Let's say you're single, you're looking for girls, right? In one of the Latin countries, you're looking for a hot Latina. You speak Spanish, you're going to be able to easily make friends with her. So it's going to help you there. It's help you going to naturalize, right? Let's say you're married and stuff, you're all set for life, you're not looking for anyone, but you're looking for citizenships, you're looking for passports. Then at least, as I said, half a dozen countries will let you naturalize by knowing Spanish. Of course, there are requirements, other requirements that you need to set up, fairly easy and straightforward. And my channel is all about that, right? So if you look at some of the long form content, we cover almost all residencies. The moment you're eligible, we have attorneys, we can get you started, and you can do this on your own as well if you are fluent in Spanish. Learning the language helps you apply for multiple citizenships. What are the citizenships that will be easy for you? Mexico is surely going to be easy. Large, beautiful, wonderful country. The passport is a tank. It has access to EU, UK, Canada, indirect access to the US through TN. I've discussed this numerous times. So it is a very good, solid travel document. Simple, fairly relaxed requirements to jump onto the temporary residency. It's very easy, in my opinion, to convert from that temporary residency into citizenship. Eventually, one of the things that you would need is Spanish. That's when I say start learning today, and that will help you get the Mexican. You also have Argentina that speaks Spanish, right? Slightly, the flavor might be slightly different, but the idea is similar. You learn Spanish. It's good for all, right? You learn once and it's really good for all. You cover Spain with that. A lot of people don't mind that society. Makes it easy for you to naturalize there. You have Dominican Republic, again requiring a language test at the end. Same Spanish is applicable. You learn once, you cover that. And then you have Ecuador, then you have Paraguay, you have Chile, you have Peru. So there's so many countries that the Spanish will help you naturalize in. Let's say you want flexible residency, you naturalize in a couple of places, then you graduate to the higher level. Let's say you want a Chile passport, you have the time to spend, you're starting a family and you want to raise that family in Chile. You want the next 5 years if your life should be in a great, developed, safe country, you do the Chile option, you can naturalize over there. The same Spanish is going to carry forward. So start learning today. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe so you don't miss out on any residency options, Spanish videos, and a whole lot more. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share your sub, and catch you in the next one.